everybody. Hey, it's your girl, Carla Renata, aka the Curvy Film Critic. Welcome back to another episode of the Curvy Critic with Carla Renata. If this is your first time joining me, please give me a big thumbs up to let me know that you were here. If you are on YouTube, which is the only place I am at the moment, give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Love to see you here. Hello to Brandon, who's always tried and true and with me in this moment. So thank you for joining me. I think we have a nice little Halloweenish show for you guys today. But you know how I roll. I always start out talking about what my week was like, and then I get into it. So today we have the entire cast of I Know What You Did Last Summer, which is streaming right now on Amazon Prime Video. It's one of the Amazon original series. There's so many people in it, but we'll get into that in a minute. I have about 4 or 5 interviews from that, and then I'm going to get into Ron's Gone Wrong because I know that that's what my boy Brandon likes. Hey, Brandon. So what are you talking about today? You told me that what did you say? You said that you love the stuff they showed at DC Fandom, including Matt Reeves' Batman, DC Super Pets, Young Justice Phantoms, and the upcoming DC anime stuff. Yes, I love the DC Fandom thing too, and I'm actually about to get into that right now. So that's what I did over the weekend, y'all. I did the DC Fandom thing. I did the DC Fandom convention, which is kind of like Comic-Con, but for DC comic content. And they did it online this Saturday. They talked about the Batman. They talked about Wonder Woman, that there's going to be Patty Jenkins dropped that there's going to be a Wonder Woman 3. I'll put all of that in the Round the Curve. I didn't get a chance to do that today because this is my last week in Arkansas. And I tried to get out and see a little bit of Arkansas while I was here. And as like I said, I am in Arkansas and I'm doing Designing Women, which is now streaming at theatersquared.com. So you can go and you can stream it now through October 24th, which is our last show here in Arkansas. Yay! But this week, what I did this past week is that Theater Squared had a little celebration where they were so our show kicked off their season, so to speak. So they had a little kickoff party. And so, that's me at the kickoff party getting my boogie on. And then we said goodbye to one of our cast members who I love, Miss Carmen Cusack, who is doing Flying Over Sunset at Lincoln Center in New York. She's in rehearsals for that right now. I took that after we had both been crying. My lashes are all askew. Hers are all askew. Both of our eyes are red and watery. But, there was that. And then she was replaced by Catherine Lanasa, who is on Truth Be Told with my good girlfriend, Octavia Spencer. So I popped into Octavia and Catherine's IG live over the weekend, just popped in to say hello. You see me waving there. And then, as friends do, Octavia sent me these beautiful flowers for what she thought was opening night. My opening night actually was like over a month ago, but Catherine's opening night was this past week. So I guess she thought that the opening night started with Catherine, but she sent me those beautiful flowers. And I wanted to just give her a shout out for that because it was so beautiful and I was so grateful. So thank you. Oh, appreciate you. And what else did I do this week? Oh, so we did the block party. I did the DC Fandom. I did the IG live drop with Octavia and Catherine Lanasa, and you can catch them both on Truth Be Told, which is streaming on Apple TV Plus right now. All right, so I will have Around the Curve for you another time, but we got a jam-packed show for you. I don't want to waste another moment getting into it. So I interviewed everybody from I Know What You Did Last Summer. Now, if you guys are not familiar, this was a film that happened a while ago, but even that film was based on a book. So it was a book first, and then it was a book first, and then it turned into a movie, and then it was a reboot of a movie, and now it is a television series on Amazon Prime. So I interviewed one of the showrunners. Her name is Sarah Goodman, and we had a good time because I think I asked her something about the book to not get her to talk about it because I wasn't sure at the time when I interviewed her if I was going to show this interview before it aired or after it aired. And I figured it would probably be better to air it after, and so that you guys could have that content today. So here is the interview with the showrunner is Sarah Goodman. Sarah directed the first 2 episodes of I Know What You Did Last Summer on Amazon Prime. So here we go.
Hi, so nice to meet you.
It's wonderful to meet you too. The first thing I want to find out from you, though, is I know this was a book before it was a movie, before it was a TV series. Did you use that book as a reference for creating these first 2 episodes?
The accident that happens that is at the center of the movie was also at the center of the book, with a bunch of kids coming from a party and deciding to do the wrong thing.
Right.
So how that happened in the book was very different than how it happened in the movie. And that's the jumping off point, but it's also very different than happens in the show.
Very well said. Yes. You were like, let me circumvent around everything. Anything to anybody. Yes, girl. That is why I asked you about the book. I'm like, okay, I'll ask her about the book and then we can just circle around everything.
Thank you.
I love how you circumvented that. I also love the fact that you kind of live in this teenager, like slasher, thriller, drama kind of lane, because you're also doing Cruel Intentions too, right?
I am. Yes, I'm doing Cruel Intentions. We just started writing that pilot. So that's exciting.
I love that. And what is your favorite slasher film? Are you a fan of slasher horror genre?
I'm a fan. I think I like a mystery thriller more than I like just a straight slasher, just for myself. Oh my gosh, how can I be unprepared for this question? Like Get Out to me was amazing. That's not a slasher, but there's horror in it for sure. Old school, I have to choose I Know What You Did Last Summer, just for the sheer joy of it. But I like anything that really is about underneath the horror, underneath the slasher. It's really about the characters, and that you can use that genre to kind of explore the mysteries in them.
Absolutely. What is it that keeps drawing you toward these complicated kind of teen stories? Because these are not normal teens that are involved in these stories. You know what I'm saying? What is it about that draws you in and makes you want to create around those worlds?
I think we're really much more forgiving of teenagers than we are of adults. And I think it's a time where everyone's trying to figure out who they are. And especially now, like with social media, where everyone has this persona versus who they really think they are and who they're really scared of being. And there's a lot of pressure to present and be a certain way. And I think for me, that's really interesting. And it's an interesting time to be able to explore that. And if we're doing it, we're in trouble. Let's leave it to them.
I know that's right. Oh, Sarah, this was delightful talking to you. I wish I had more time to ask you 1,000 more questions, but we did all right with the time that we had.
We did. I so appreciate it, Carla. I really do.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you as well. Have a good one.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Don't you love how Sarah was like, how can I not be prepared for this question? Yes, I love that. I love that she wasn't prepared, because it made me look like I was a really great interviewer, which, I can kind of be a great interviewer. It kind of depends on the day. Anyway, I digress. So let me talk about this movie called Ron's Gone Wrong. And I told Brandon I would talk about it because that is his jam. And I have to talk about Ron's Gone Wrong. I love Ron's Gone Wrong because it's the type of film that it's a teaching, as Disney always does. They teach, and it's directed by Sarah Smith, Jean-Philippe Vine, Octavio E. Rodriguez, and it drops on October 22nd, and I believe it drops in theaters only. But it's the story of Barney, this awkward middle schooler, and Ron, who's his new walking, talking, digitally connected device, like Alexa or something like that. And Ron's malfunctions are set against the backdrop of the social media age that launched them on a journey to learn about true friendship. This is the thing. Technology, and digital technology in particular, has literally taken over our lives. We tell Alexa what to do. If we have a Google, we tell Google what to do. I'm hoping Google don't talk to me while I'm talking about her. but we have all these devices that tell us what to do. And Barney is at school and he sees all these other kids with their, their new talking digital devices, and they've got on clothes and they're really hip and they're doing really cool stuff. And then he gets the one that is just not perfect. And it just shows that perfection is in the mind, is in the eye of the beholder. Perfection is in the eye of beholder. And that is the best lesson that you can get from watching Ron's Gone Wrong. I really loved it. I loved it. Zach Galifianakis is one of the stars that's voicing the characters, and it's a lot of fun, and it is a very teachable film. So again, it drops in theaters on October 22nd, and it's called Ron's Gone Wrong, and it is a Disney joint. So I thought I would break up, my Ghoul slasher content with a little Disney stuff, because there's not a whole lot dropping these days. Actually, there is a lot dropping, but I'm in Arkansas, so I can't see most of it. So when I get back to LA on October 25th, I'll be able to catch some more screenings and bring you all up to date. I'll be able to see the Bond movie. I'll be able to see Dune, and I can talk about all of that when I get back. So now let's get into the next interview with Brianne and Sebastian, which is hilarious. I love this interview so much, but I love Brianne and how she really kind of breaks down their characters on I Know What You Did Last Summer. So take a look and a listen to this interview with Brianne and Sebastian. Hello, guys. How you doing?
Good. Right. Yeah.
Good. I know it's early for y'all. Y'all like, ooh, child, I need some coffee, tea, a breakfast sandwich, something.
All of it. Yeah.
He's like, look, I got some coffee right here. So do I. Boom. Yeah. And some water too. But let's get into it. Did you guys get a chance? This series and the movie is based on a book. Did you get a chance to see the book at all or read the book at all? I'll start with Brianne.
No, I didn't read the book, but I did watch the first movie. I think when it comes to reincarnating something that is so beloved, it's a certain balance of, having the freedom to create your own from your imagination and make something original while also paying homage to the original material. So I did watch the first movie, and that genre is that's very specific genre of like the 90s and early 2000s in horror is very dear to my heart. So I had a lot of fun being able to kind of mix the two perspectives together.
I think actors can get this not self-righteousness towards original prop material, but I think ours was so different that it felt a little bit like I was starting to judge the work that I was doing or like the characters too much in our show. And I didn't want to bring that into the creative process so much. So yeah, that's just my personal perspective on it. Yeah.
Y'all are some deep little dolls. Okay. I hear you. I'm listening. I'm like, okay, they're deep. Margot, see, I'm calling you by your character's name. Brianne, there's some intimacy scenes that happen for you. Is this your first time doing that?
Yes, to this extent. And I feel very lucky that when I was shooting those specific scenes, I was surrounded by some very amazing women. Our showrunner, Sarah Goodman, our DP is a woman, and the director we were working with is Logan Kibbins for those episodes. And so I felt very supportive. We had an intimacy coach on set that, was our advocate. And I felt, I don't know, working with, I don't want to spoil anything. I'm sorry.
No, don't do that. You'll get me in trouble.
Myself, but I think that they created an environment where we all felt safe and were able to explore. And so my hope is that these scenes portray something not just sexual or sensational, but something actually intimate.
Very well said. That is my time. Oh, I wish I had some more time with y'all because there were some other things I wanted to talk to Sebastian about. But next time, next season. Okay.
Next time.
All right. Bye, y'all. I love how people are always like, I don't want to spoil anything. Well, You're not spoiling anything if I ask you about intimacy scenes, because I'm not asking you who you're being intimate with. I'm just talking about the action of being intimate. So there's that. But I think she, answered that very, very well. And I love her character on the show. She is kind of one of those little social media influencers that documents everything. And she looks drastically different in that interview that we just did than she does on the show. She's a deep little doll, but she's an even more talented actress, which brings me to the next couple of people. So Zeke and Ashley, Zeke Goodman and Ashley Moore had me cracking up because their characters kind of one of them kind of crushes on the other, and the other one is not really aware that the other one is crushing on the other. And everybody's been in that place where you like somebody and they don't really have a clue that you like them, or vice versa, and how awkward that can be when y'all are together. Like, it's just awkward and weird until somebody makes a move. And then sometimes when somebody makes a move, it's not a move that the other person wants them to make. You know what I'm saying? It's just awkward, and it immediately kind of takes you back to like that high school kind of feeling. It's a lot going on, but it ends to you. Take a look and listen to this interview with Zeke and Ashley, where we talk about exactly that. There's a lot of shenanigans happening, and I Know What You Did Last Summer. A lot of shenanigans. Mostly people liking folks that don't like them back. So have you ever been in a situation where you kind of like somebody and it wasn't reciprocated? And I'll start with Ashley first.
Story of my life. Happens to me every time. No, I'm just kidding. Yes. I feel like everyone. I hope I'm not the only one who's experienced this, but yeah, I mean, in my real life, but also while filming, I'm in love with my best friend, and he doesn't know, and I don't think he also feels the same way. So
yeah, I mean, I was definitely a lovesick little guy when I was growing up, so I had my share of unrequited loves.
Aw, I feel you make me feel bad for asking that question with that little puppy dog face.
Okay, you brought up a lot of pain there.
Oh, thanks, Zeke. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll send you like a cake or something to drown your sorrows in.
Good. You could read my mind.
And you know what I want to add while I have you? Let me ask you about the buttered niblets. Can you tell me about that a little bit?
Oh my God, you did your research.
Yes, sir. I don't come to the table unprepared.
The Butter Nibbles was the improv group that I was in at Johns Hopkins when I was there. One of the highlights of my college experience. I've made really good friends, learned a lot about myself as a performer, and had a lot of fun.
Cool. Now, for both of you, what is your favorite slasher film? I'll start with Ashley.
I remember at the time, Monsters, Inc. was in theaters and 13 Ghosts. And I begged my mom to go see 13 Ghosts, and I walked out to go watch Monsters, Inc. It was just terrifying, and people were dying left and right and in crazy ways.
And you were like, and that's my thing. What about you?
Besides I Know What You Did Last Summer, I think I'll have to go with the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah. Oh, you go hardcore. That's hardcore slasher horror.
Yeah, give me a slasher. Give me a slasher.
Well, you guys, that is my time, but I really enjoyed watching y'all play Dylan and Riley. And I thank you so much for giving me some of your time this morning. This was great.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a good one. Bye. Let me tell you something. Y'all know I am not the horror doll. How many times have you heard me say I am not the horror doll? But I do like a good slasher if it's more on the thriller side, right? So I literally had this whole discussion with a friend of mine today. We took some time out and we drove up to Eureka Springs, which is in the Ozark Mountains of Missouri, which is where I'm from, Missouri, but not the Ozark Mountains. And so we took a little drive up there and back, and we had this conversation on the way up there, and he was mentioning some films to me that are like straight up horror movies. And I was like, oh, so you a horror fan? He was like, no. I'm like, yeah, I'm not the horror doll. You are more of a horror fan than you think you are. But this is October. This is the month where you talk about everything scary, ghoulish, whatever. And, this is that one time in the year that people that love this stuff, they go in full throttle, hardcore for their ghoulish horror, thriller, slasher content. So having said all of that, y'all know I'm not that doll, but I am good. I love me some Hitchcock thrillers now. I love me some Alfred Hitchcock movies. But having said that, I'm going to get to the last person that I have an interview with in the cast. Her name is Madison Eisman. Y'all, be on the lookout. Madison Eisman has already been in some really high profile films, so most people will already know who she is. But this little doll, what she's doing on I Know What You Did Last Summer, she is living her entire life. She's so good on it. She's really, really good. So take a look and a listen to this interview that me and Miss Madison had. What is up, Madison?
Hello, how are you?
Girl, I am good because you gave me life and I Know What I Did Last Summer. Your acting is fan-frickin-tabulous. I kind of am obsessed with you.
Thank you so much. It means so. I mean, we worked really, really hard on this show, so I'm so glad you enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah, I'm obsessed with you. Okay, first of all, I have so many questions. So there's a lot of intimacy going on, as things do with teenagers. Is this your first time doing those types of scenes?
Yes, I had done some smaller types of intimacy scenes, but as you know, we really get into things in the show. But yeah, this was the first time for me. It was a lot of fun. I'd always wanted to do it. And this just happened to be the project that allowed me to. And I mean, you know, Lennon, she's spicy, so she got into a lot. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and you're playing people that are polar opposites. Are either one of them, or do either one of their character traits coincide with Madison?
It's interesting. Like I feel like I'm somewhere in the middle of both of them. Like I have different qualities from them in my own personal life, and there's qualities of them that I don't want anywhere near me at all. So I would say Madison is somewhere in the middle, but they were both very fun to play, and I did get to tap into like different sides of my personality in order to bring them both to life.
I loved it because you did. I really believe that I was watching two distinctly different people. So, yeah, I really got that for real. So this is based on like a slasher book, remake, movie, whatever. Have you watched slasher films? And if you do you have a favorite?
I mean, I love scary movies. Slasher, I guess I had always been more of a fan of like the demonic possessive side of the horror world, but I do love a good slasher. Like I Know What You Did Last Summer was like a huge iconic hit, you know, 97, along with Scream, along with all of those. Actually, I think we just rewatched most of them not too long ago, like during the pandemic. They've always been a favorite of mine.
Okay. And you guys shot in Hawaii, right?
Yeah, we were in Hawaii. Have you been?
I actually lived in Hawaii for a little while.
No
My
way.
brother was born there. So yes, I have been to Hawaii. We lived on the Big Island.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Honestly, it's probably, I've gotten to film there maybe 3 times now. Probably one of my favorite filming locations I've ever had.
Well, what was it like filming there during the pandemic? That must have been different.
It was.
You're like,
I mean,
yes.
We were all, you know, very grateful to even have a job during all of that craziness.
Of course.
All of our protocols, our COVID officers, they handled everything very well. It went very smooth for 5 months. We didn't have one shutdown. So it works if you do it right, you know. But it was interesting. I'll say that.
Real quick before we get out of here, what is your favorite thing that sucks about being an adult?
Bills. I hate.
No, that's right. And that is a good place to end, honey. Nobody likes a bad bill or a good bill or a bill in general. Madison, I love you in this show. Congratulations. And thank you so much for your time.
So much. It was so nice to talk to you.
Nice to talk to you too. Bye, baby. Listen, Madison Eisman is going to give you life, and I Know What You Did Last Summer. Again, you guys, it is streaming right now, and it has been streaming as of October 15th. Check it out. It is a lot of fun. Next week, I have an interview for you guys with Amanda Seyfried and Finn Wittrock, who are in the new film that's coming out called A Mouthful of Air. Is dealing with a couple who is desperately trying to handle the wife, played by Amanda Seyfried, her dealing with postpartum depression. It's a deep little movie, and her performance in it is absolutely fire. So be on the lookout for that interview next week. And I'm also going to have my girls from Designing Women some of the women from Designing Women are going to join me. And we're going to talk about some strong, powerful women in film or some female films. We haven't quite decided what we're going to talk about, but join us next week and we'll talk about that. And I'll have that interview with Amanda and Finn as well. I will be flying back. Oops, sorry. Put up the wrong picture. I will be flying back from Arkansas next week. So you guys will be getting the content, and I might be doing this from a plane. Who knows? If I can stream from the plane, I will. But it'll be a pre-taped episode because I will not be able to do it live. But then after that, on November 1st is live and off and popping, and I'm going to have content. So please check all of my social media channels to find out what I'm going to have, when I'm going to have it, how I'm going to have it, and all that good stuff. Again, if this is your first time joining me, please give me a big thumbs up if you were on YouTube to let me know that you were here, because I don't know you were here if you don't tell me. Click that bell for notifications if you are on YouTube, and subscribe to the channel. Y'all subscribe and support your sister. I really appreciate you. I appreciate all my old regulars like Brandon and Kenneth and Michael B, who shows up every once in a while, for joining me all the time. Whenever I do a live stream, whenever I'm taped, they are always here and they always come and support me. So that is it for this episode 184 of the Curvy Critic with Carla Renata. So until the next time, love, peace, and hair grease, and deuces. Wear the mask, y'all. Wear the mask. Bye.